Let's rewind the clock here, fellas. Back to your childhood, when you were still developing and grasp of the world. What do you remember from childhood? Take a second to think about it, but I'll ask you this. What show inspired you to be here today? You can tell just by looking at me, I love the show Hey Arnold growing up in the 2000s, watching all the episodes. I wanted to bring a tribute to the show that I really liked as a kid. There's a few episodes I really liked. Let's start off with an episode that was good. Stoop Kid. If you have no idea what episode I'm talking about, let me break it down. Arnold and his friends were playing a game of American football. Arnold had the golden opportunity to kick the ball, but he kicked it a little too far, and they up in Stoop Kid's stoop. Now, Arnold has to get it off his stoop. Later we find out Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Arnold, he later feels bad for him, and he tries to reason with him to travel off his stoop. He eventually abandons his stoop, and the episode ends. The message they wanted to get at is eventually, you can't stay in one place. You have to open yourself to new environments. Even if they were or weren't stoops, the point is, the world is big, and there's so much to explore than staying where you currently stand. And I think that's a great message to anyone who wants to travel the world. This one to me was a very special episode to me, and to the Hey Arnold fanbase especially. This episode, Arnold's Christmas, starts off by showing the town inspired off Brooklyn, New York, and Seattle, where Craig Barlett grew up and did some of his artwork. While Helga is getting ready for the holiday season, Arnold and his neighbors are playing Secret Santa. Arnold gets Mr. Wynn and needs to figure out what he likes. Later, we get the story of his daughter and him, and how he wants to see Mai live a good life. Unfortunately, there was a war going on between the south and north side of Vietnam, causing Mr. Wynn and his daughter to flee to where they could escape to find a better life. Unfortunately, when they reached up to one of the safe spots where a helicopter was landed, a soldier said it could only fit one person for the ride. For Mi's safety, Mr. Wynn gives up his daughter to give her a better life in America. 20 years later, he still hasn't found his daughter after moving into the US. Now it's Arnold's job to make his wish come true. He starts looking and finds a government building in Hillwood. Due to it being Christmas Eve, not too many people are working, but they find somebody working overtime named Mr. Bailey. Due to him spending too much time doing work, he hasn't found the time to do any of his Christmas shopping. So Arnold agrees to do his shopping for him in exchange for helping Arnold out. They go out, look for every item on the list except for one, the Nancy Splatuni snow boots. After Mr. Bailey finds out the most important gift isn't on the list, he kicks him out of his office and locks the office up for the night. Arnold's a little devastated after not being able to get what he needed. Helga has a pair of boots needed to get Mr. Bailey to find Mai. So, in return, she gives up the boots to help Arnold make his neighbor, Mr. Wynn, feel happy during the holiday season. We find out that Mai is at the door. And finally, Mr. Wynn and his daughter are reunited. I'm sorry. It just makes me shed a tear when I read this. Next one, please. The final episode I wanted to bring up was Arnold's Valentine. Any other episodes that were not brought up will have an honorable mention at the end with the Hey Arnold page with everyone's opinion being listed. Alright, anyways. It's Valentine's Day. My favorite holiday.
Boo! You stink!
Anyways, Arnold is creating a Valentine for his crush, Ruth McDougal. While he's making his, Helga, on the other hand, is struggling with how to give her Valentine to Arnold. While Arnold is fully devoted to Ruth making her Valentine, signed anonymously. At recess, Arnold secretly put his Valentine in a pile of her hundreds of letters to read Arnold's next, only to giggle a little bit and accept it without knowing who it was from. The following night, we see Mr. Fancy Shortman get ready for his double date at two different restaurants that happen to be right next to each other, oddly enough. Our first date starts with Helga, supposedly dressed as Arnold's pen pal, Cecile, but Arnold is quick to point out that she looked a lot different from the picture she took to give him. Helga, with her pure anxiety, takes the picture and rips it up, and the date continues. Suddenly, Ruth is walking to the restaurant over Arnold's other date with Cecile. Arnold asks if he could be excused and runs over to Ruth to get the other date started. Eventually, Arnold is doing a run back and forth cycle with Helga finding out what Arnold is doing and finds out that he's been doing this for a while and she's not very happy about what is going on. Suddenly, we find out that the real Cecile actually shows up and introduces herself to Arnold, finding out that he was dating a complete stranger and not knowing who that person was, that fraud of a woman. Arnold would ask who she really was when they were all by themselves eventually, but Helga does not come clean and leaves her identity unknown. So this episode's message wants you to focus on being honest about who you are in the relationship. It shows you are really in love with the person you are with, and they'll show you love back in return. Just try and be an honest person with the person you love. Overall, the episodes were all great in their own way. What I really liked was the upbeat or calm jazz music. They were able to deliver a great show, but with good tunes that the audience could still enjoy for the longest time. And quite a bit of the music I've chosen from episodes from Hey Arnold, and even a few fan remixes as well. A tune that I really enjoy from the mix of songs is usually between Stomping, an alternate version of the outro from Hey Arnold, or Groove Remote. Those two songs really stick out to me in the franchise category of music. Obviously, everybody's entitled to their own opinions on what songs they really liked from the show, which, if you want, you can talk about it in the comments with me, and I'll definitely reply to you. Hey, you can even criticize my video as well, if you wanted to. Getting back on topic here, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the show, about like all the music that they've made, but I've saved the best by far. Now, what I do enjoy is a passionate fan base that isn't completely out of their minds, but on the occasion like this, Hey Arnold fans are the equivalent of a down-earth, and enjoyable group to be part of. I mean, heck, you can really have a nice conversation and everybody would be understandable and, they'd respect your opinion. But I've got to say, I'm truly impressed by the amazing fan art people can make. Even a comic book series that falls more into the older elementary years of Hey Arnold, basically. And I gotta say, I'm truly impressed. They made it so that the relationship would work eye to eye after the Jungle movie. I'm falling apart here. I actually really enjoyed these. This person put out, without it just sounding like a messed up fan fiction on Wattpad or something like that. I'm pretty sure they actually have a TV. But I'm not gonna. Alright, wait, let me just play it out. This is all just a joke. Alright. What am I, a boomer? The point is, Eden Fries, the creator of these comics, is also on Instagram, where she posts at least most of her content about Hey Arnold. So yeah, definitely give her a check. If you remember the first part of the video, I asked you what show inspired you to be here today. You probably already answered that question at the start, but I realized what this show has done for me is it inspired me personally to not just rush my content altogether. This also means if you want classic Ted's Got No B-Word videos, you might want to wait a little bit. But back to the point of the video, every show has its own deep meaning. In almost every episode, I'd say, one way or another, a few of those shows you watched when you were younger probably have grown on you. And looking back makes you think, wow, I never really thought of the actual meaning behind it. Trust me, I've already gone through that like a million times through all these episodes that I've talked about. Even the honorable mentions, they have their own life lessons that everyone needs to know about, or at that young age you need to learn that, and that's why Hey Arnold sets a great example for the youth to be a better person. And to end it off, I wanted to leave you all with a quote just to think about.